Most of the content that's going to be educational and really beneficial to most of you guys are also going to come in kind of like this format. You don't really have to be training dogs actively to explain fundamentals, and this is what I'm going to do today. Today we're going to talk about some of the fundamentals, some of the ideas that you have to have and accept before you start training your dog. One of the most discussed issues in dog training is always going to be training methods. A lot of people believe that you can train a dog only using positive markers or positive reinforcement, and some people believe in balanced training like I do, and some people believe in mostly punishment. What is balanced training? What is it? Is it in between? Yes, we do use positive markers and negative markers, which is the right way to do it. If you don't correct your dog, you're never going to be able to get rid of bad behavior in general. Positive markers are for creating new patterns. New patterns. Pay attention to what I just said. Not break old patterns. You create new patterns with positive reinforcement. You break bad patterns with negative reinforcement or negative markers. Now, when we talk about that, we have to talk about the tools, right? So we balance trainers, we use mainly three things that are going to be super beneficial to your training long term. The number one is the crate, the second one is the prong collar, and the third one is the e-collar. Why do we use this triad? Why is it so important? I'm going to talk about each and every one of those in a minute. Number one, your crate. Why you should crate your dog? Because your dog needs to have a safe space for him to relax, to sleep, and to be okay when he cannot be supervised. That includes every night and every time you're out of the house, right? So if you don't use a crate, your dog is going to have the ability to make a ton of mistakes without you noticing it. And he's going to create bad habits that are going to be very hard to break, because he's going to constantly have that free time and that free reign to do whatever the hell he wants. And you certainly don't want that. Now, number two, the prong collar. Why do we use the prong collar when it's so ugly? It looks like something from the Middle Ages. It's horrible, but it's really not. The prong collar is the safest tool to teach your dog how to move around with you, especially when you started with obedience. You need a collar that's going to be able to give your dogs that pressure points, that pressure sensation, that marker to allow your dog to stop, to slow down, to move in a certain direction, and so on and so forth. You have to guide your dog through the leash so he can understand obedience training. No dog will come and be born knowing obedience commands. Those are not natural things for dogs. Those are things that we put on the dog so he can live with us. That's really domestication. And you cannot domesticate a dog if you don't have a tool that is going to allow the dog to understand what to do, when to do, and when to stop, and when to move forward. So the prong is super important. The third tool we're going to talk about is the e-collar. The e-collar is the top of the line training tool for any dog trainer. The e-collar is going to allow you to take this training a step further, meaning you're going to be able to give your dog a little bit more freedom and still have the power to intervene and do positive and negative markers anywhere you are. So all the dogs I train are trained on the e-collar, because I want every dog owner to experience that. You're going to be a lot more flexible. You're going to have a lot more applicability with the training, and you don't have to be tied to the leash to the dog all the time. So there is a line of understanding and an education that the dog has to go through to understand these tools, and this is what we do in dog training, especially in board and train. Why am I talking about all this? Because I think fundamentals are important before any of you guys that are dog owners that are going to hire dog trainers. You're gonna hear a lot of things. You're gonna hear that you don't need to correct your dog, you don't need to crate your dog. There's no reason why you should put a prong on your dog. That's bad. Why would you shock your dog with a knee collar? That's really a lot of the commercial stuff that people say to you to get you to pay them. And I'm being very honest here, because I've been a dog trainer for a long time, and I've seen the damage that this kind of argument and hype can make in a dog. A lot of people give up on their dogs simply because they were never told that it's okay to correct them. Eventually, the dog will become too unstable, too unpredictable, and the person just doesn't want to deal with it. So in the end of it all, the dog will pay with its own life when we don't understand what's going on. That's why I'm going to start talking a little bit more about fundamentals with you guys. I also want to add that I'm also a dog owner, and I will never put on a client's dog something that I don't put on my dogs. My dogs are on e-collars every day. My dogs wear prong collars every day that we go out on the walk. My dogs sleep in a crate. They're used to the crate ever since day one, since they've been with me, and it's one of the most beneficial tools anybody can have. So I want to leave that disclaimer here because I'm not just advocating for something that I don't use. I've used it for a long time. All my dogs use it, and they always will use it because it's the most powerful thing you can do, and it's the most beneficial thing you can do for your dog if you want them to be properly domesticated and truly be a part of your life. And this is what we all want. So don't believe the hype. Don't fall for the trap of the commercial dog training being sold out there, that all you need is to give your dog treats and everything's going to be fine. That's just not true. Let's face the reality and work dogs in a fair way. These tools were not made to hurt dogs. They were made to make their lives better. To close, I want to say, everybody that has a dog, I'm pretty sure most of the people love their dogs, and we want to do the best for them. Domesticating a dog is inclusion. It's the ability to put your dog in your own life. It's the ability to have your dog with you in different settings, not just in your house and around the block. We want the dogs to be a part of our lives. And a dog that's well trained will be a super companion to you for everything. He'll be able to go with you in places you never imagined he could, but you have to train them. The hype of the positive reinforcement stuff all over the place is just simply to take your money. And they're going to walk away with your money, and you're going to be left with a dog that you simply cannot control. And that's not fair to you, and that's not fair to the dog. That's why I'm here, to make things clear, to show you the truth. And I show you guys every day what I do with my dogs. So I'm not going to hide anything. I'm going to show you every single step of the way because I want you guys to have the same success.